In this video, we're going to be reviewing the ultimate Alien Hunter Predator action figure from NECA. Welcome to the Swearwolves Horror Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brett. If you're a returning subscriber, I just want to thank you for coming back. And if you're new to this channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please consider clicking both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell below. We upload videos on a regular basis in which we review anything and everything horror, from action figures and toys to soundtracks, various collectibles, video games, you name it. Today, we're talking about this ultimate Alien Hunter Predator figure from NECA, Lasershot Predator, with removable mask, detachable wrist shield, flexible grappling hook, and clawed left hand. I don't know anything about these types of figures. This was a gift from my daughter. She saw this and said, I want to get this for my dad for Christmas, and I love every aspect of that because it's not something I normally would buy for myself. I have the Jungle Hunter Predator, which I reviewed right here, but that was kind of the only Predator that I was going to get. I don't want to go down this whole rabbit hole. There is seemingly 100 different Predator figures, and that's great for the people that like these figures. It's wonderful, and but I just didn't want to go down that slippery slope of having to get everything, because as a collector, and anybody out there who's a collector, once you get one, they're like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. I don't know a lot about this figure other than it's a Predator figure. I'm assuming it's from a comic book. Looks like a comic book art right there. Maybe you can go ahead and comment down below and tell me a little bit more about this figure. But I do like the way the figure looks. And when we open it up, you'll see on the side here, Ultimate Alien Hunter Predator, Lasershot Predator. On the back, we have a whole write-up. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it is quite long, but there's a whole write-up about this this Predator right here. And then we have some of the stuff here. We can put the mask on the face, fits over the mandibles. It shows us how to attach the shield and remove the right gauntlet base, replace it with a shield accessory. Left hand and clawed left hand are interchangeable. Flexible grappling hook attaches to right shoulder cannon. Hook heads are interchangeable. Let's open it up like with all these ultimate figures. We can open it up and you can see the figure right here and all of its glory. And then there's some photos of that. Like I said, I think this is probably from one of the comic books, maybe Alien vs. Predator comic book. Just looks really cool. Really great detail on this. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and give my thoughts on the figure itself. All right, I got the figure open, and before we get to the figure itself, let's talk about these accessories. There's quite a few accessories that I have no idea what they are. So your guess is going to be as good as mine. We'll try to figure them out together. But I know first and foremost that this is a hand. And this is an alternate right hand. It's a closed gripped hand where the hand that comes with the figure is open. So you can see the detail on that, the wrinkles and the kind of glove texture, I guess, maybe that he has on it. The nails. Really good job of that. Very shiny, like slimy skin almost. So pretty cool on that. There's also this claw hand, which is an alternate version of the claw that he has on his left hand here. This is a really open mechanical hand. Very good detail on all the different metal pieces that go into the finger joints. Almost like a Freddy Krueger glove. But for the left hand here, this mechanical claw. This is a shield. And this has a little peg right here that it would attach to the right wrist of the figure. So just a purplish color of a shield with this ornament on the cover. I'm thinking, if I had to put two and two together, I would think that because this ornament also has a peg that goes on there, and so the theory is that the Predator can activate the shield by either pressing a button or something, and then we get this like force field shield. That's my thought. If I had to make a guess, that's what I would guess. So these are pretty cool though, little different things to put on the wrist. We have, I'm thinking also that these are different grappling hooks. Now There's two of these hooks that came. This one's kind of a claw, like almost like those things that you would use to like grab stuff, like people who are maybe shorter or can't move around as well, can't reach up high. They have those little extended hands that they grab stuff with.
Hi, Billy Mays here for the Gopher, the handy helper that reaches so you don't have to.
And this is more of like your grappling hook, or maybe like a spearhead. And I'm assuming they stick into the end of this. This was coiled up behind the figure. So I'm assuming they stick into the end right here, and then this sticks somewhere on the figure. So he can use this kind of as his, get over here, scorpion wins. We got different interchangeable grappling hooks. I think I like this one if I had to pick one. I mean, I don't have to pick one, but I'm going to. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the spear, right? It's kind of like almost looks like a scorpion tail. One thing I'm noticing about the rubber on this, and this happens with older figures, I'm surprised it's happening with this, is it's sticky. There's a stickiness to it. So I don't know what kind of, and it's like wearing off on my hands. Oh, you can see it. What is that? There's like this, it almost looks like blood. There's like this stickiness all over this figure that is rubbing off on my, I'm gonna have to clean that, and I'm going to have to wash my hands. All right, I washed that gunk off my hands. I am going to set this aside because I think this needs to be cleaned because there's some kind of gunk on there. So the last accessory is this mask that can go over the top of the Predator like that. And pretty good detail on this. It's got an open eye and a closed, like shielded eye. Good detail on all the metal work, rivets and whatnot that go into this. And even on the underside, there's some detail right there. So that could fit right over the top of the Predator. I don't know if I'm going to put it on him yet. It'll depend. We have to take a closer look at the figure. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now. This is a massive figure. This is a beast. These Predator figures are not small. Let's talk about articulation first before we get into the details. We have a little articulation in the head. It's really hard because he has this hair, these little tendrils off the backside here that block his movement, but you can turn it from side to side, and if you wanted to force it, you could turn it even more. It's not going to hurt the figure any. We have some movement in the shoulder. We do have these shoulder pads right here that is blocking some of that movement, but we do have that movement and can turn kind of in and out air at the bicep, and then the joint there at the elbow. The hands do turn, and again, this is a detachable hand that you could put this other hand on right there, this mechanical hand. His arm doesn't really go down to his side. He's kind of always at this pouncing stance right here with his left arm. Right arm is the same thing, except for he's got the more the non-mechanical hand right there. We have like this ab crunch joint here, which causes us to be able to bend him and then turn him at the waist and at the chest there. The legs obviously at the hips. They go out a little bit, but we have this blocked right here. The knees bend. And he's got these big old feet which turn and go up and down as well as from side to side. A lot of body armor on this figure. This like gold or bronzish armor. You might have noticed that there's this little plastic thing right here that if we pull out, it activates that LED electronic targeting eye. And there's a little button at the top that if you depress that, you see that right eye has that. And you can actually kind of see how it would target. Well, not that well, but it does shine on my hand. But you can see the eye right there. So that's kind of a cool feature. We'll turn that off. Detail on the head. Well, I mean, this is just a gnarly looking beast here. It's got this mechanical right side of his face with that eye, his jaw, the little teeth coming out. Just the detail on the right or the left side, which is the more natural side, less mechanical. Just the detail in the skin and the lizard-like texture that it gives. And then this right side, just the detail in the mechanics. Just really good overall as far as that's concerned. We have these tendrils, like I talked about earlier, that are these like soft rubber that kind of feel nice. They can pose any which way, kind of go from being out front to being in the back, whatever you wanted to do. I think kind of like that is the way to go. On the back side here, this is up towards the top, so we'll talk about that. We have these guns, and they slide up on this backpack, and they aim forward like so. So he can use those to, spy someone and shoot at them. We'll slide those down. Again, that's as far down as they go. Shoulder pads right here with this armor, this crisscross like bandolier almost. This little programming doodad on his arm. It's cool. And then on the right side, this is where you would put this shield or this ornament like so. Got this skull right here for a belt buckle. And more of that armor and that skin you can see through, kind of with that mesh fishnet stockings almost type thing. This armor is soft rubber, so it can kind of bend and move as you move the legs. But it's a really cool looking figure. Again, I don't know much about, I don't know anything about this. And you can see the detail down there and the shin protectors with the fins on the side. And then these bony, scaly, reptilian looking feet. There's the back side of the figure. So for, not knowing anything about it, I think it looks good. I have no reference. I kind of like it with the guns out like that. Turn that on. I won't keep that on all the time. Without having any type of frame of reference of what he's supposed to be or what he's supposed to do, I guess, this looks cool with me. Oh, I see. This is where that sticky thing would come out of. Because there's a square slot for it to go in. And it's keyed even. So there's a squared slot for that to go into. We'll touch it as minimally as possible. See? There's stuff all over it. It's fairly cool as far as I'm concerned. It's a big figure. There's a lot to this figure. Again, not something that I particularly collect per se, but because I have an action figure collection, it'll fit right in. I can put it next to the other Predator that I have, and it'll look pretty rad next to him. Why don't I go ahead and get him more like how I would have him on display, and then I'll give my final thoughts on the figure. All right, there you have it. The Ultimate Alien Hunter Predator Lasershot Predator from NECA. And this is kind of how I'll probably have him posed. My thoughts for a figure, I think it's great. I think it's, if this is what you're into, I'm assuming it looks a lot like what the figure is. Maybe it's from a comic book, which is what I'm assuming it's from. It looks great. From my point of view, I mean, this thing being all sticky and having some weird substance on it, kind of cautious about that. I hope that's not how every one of them are, and I hope I'm going to be okay. My fingers aren't going to fall off. Because of the weird substance on that, I got to knock it down a little bit. I would give it 4 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees heads from me. That's from me. That's my point of view. It's a cool looking figure. It's going to look cool next to my other Predators, so don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that. There's just some various things on my copy of the figure that I didn't really dig so much. But if you have thoughts about this, actually, if you know anything about this figure, go ahead and comment down below. And if you like this video, please click that like button. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and you feel so inclined, click both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. We are the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, and we do a weekly show in which we review horror movies. So please check us out by searching for The Swearwolves, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also visit our website at theswearwolves.com. So, for The Swearwolves, I'm Brett. that? Hi, this is Brett with the Swearwolves. When I'm not editing videos or creating content for YouTube, I just sit here and wait. And wait. If you like the video that you just saw, go ahead and click that button right there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that other button right there. I'll wait.